Welcome back, guys, to another video. This is part two of relationship video, and today I will be speaking to you guys regarding how to fix, how to amend, and how to cultivate beautiful relationships of any kind. So I've jotted down a few notes as a guideline to uh, to keep track of what to speak about. So the first thing I would like to speak about is beginning our relationships. I mean, relationships can be a friendship, it can be a romantic relationship, it can be a family relationship, any even a relationship with a with an animal. It's still a relationship, which uh, which you can cultivate to and form a strong bond that lasts. So the number one priority in a relationship is communication. So communication is number one when it comes to any type of relationship, because if you don't have any communication, the relationship will wane out. So even if you have honesty is an important key also. So honesty is the second priority in a relationship, next to next to communication. But if you just strictly just have honesty in a relationship with no communication, people can start assuming things by what they see, because most people only know what they see. They don't like, if you visually look at a situation, you will make assumptions based on what you see. Uh, you will not go on facts, because you will not know the facts. So the only way to determine the facts is to have an open communication with the other person, and speak about what you see if it correlates to what they actually to what their intentions are. So communication is the number one when it comes to any relationship, romantic, friendship, or any type. So you have to have an open communication, which is very important. And the second one is honesty. You must be honest with your partner or any type of relationship you have, because honesty is an important factor in any relationship, in any connection of a bond with another person or any other, any other individual. So having honesty enable two-person to have trust, to create trust among each other. So there will be no assumptions in a relationship. So honesty is one of the main factors in in any relationship. Is another factor, which when you have honesty, you create a strong relationship with the other person, and the other person will not assume anything they hear or see. So honesty will build trust among two people in a communication, and it will, the people, even if they do hear a negative story regarding the other person, they will take it with a grain of salt. They will not take it too strongly until they communicate with the other partner or with the other person to figure out whether it's truth or not. So honesty is key. And when forming a relationship, you need to listen more attentively to the other person when they are speaking, because I've realized most people, when two people engage in a communication, when they're having a conversation, most of the time, one person while one person is speaking, the other person is not really listening. They are only listening to respond. So they're not really listening to what the person is actually saying. So as soon as the other person begin to speak, then the other person begin to start thinking of what they're going to say next. So which is not really listening. True listening is uh, being in the moment with the person, and being attentive to what they're saying, and hearing each and every words, and not letting your mind wander and start thinking of what you're going to say next. Just listen to what they have to say, and after they've done speaking, then you can formulate an opinion, or you can your own opinion, or and then you can come up with an answer, or any other response to what they had to say. What I've noticed is a lot of people, they listen to response. They're not listening to actually uh, uh, get the information the person is conveying to them. So that's another key. And the other key is to talk less. The people that speaks a lot only regurgitate what they already know, and the people that listens more have an opportunity to learn more. So this is one of the thing I've taken as a lesson in life, to talk less and listen more, because you hear a lot more when you listen versus speaking. Because when you just speaking, you just repeating what you already know. You miss your opportunity to learn something new by not listening. So another key factor in to build and to formulate a strong relationship is to show kindness to the other person, regardless of if the person is unkind to you. Because at the beginning, this is where the relationship is forming. Is so it has to build on foundation of kindness and compassion, which is where unconditional love arrives from. So unconditional love is another most important factor in building a strong relationship with any other person. So when you have uh, a strong bond with a person, that that derives from having open communication, honesty, and most importantly, showing unconditional love. Unconditional love is similar to what a mother bears with a child. The mother is not concerned with uh, circumstances the child has to go through in order for the mother to love them. This is what actually destroys relationship, because most people are loving conditionally, which means, like, if I have a relationship with a romantic relationship with a female partner, then if I have a conditional relationship, which means um, my love is will be based on the condition, her condition. So in order for me to love her, she has to have this type of quality. She has to be this type of person. She has to show this type of effort toward the relationship. It's based on something else in order for you to love the person. This is what conditional love is. But unconditional love is not based on what the other person has to do in order for you to love them, but you love them regardless. This is what formulate a strong relationship to begin with. This is why a mother and a child is the bond a mother and a child, or any parents form with their children, is really unbreakable, because it's based on unconditional love, and the mother will continue to love the child regardless of what the child's do. This is what relationships should be based. Any relationship should be based on, especially a romantic relationship. So when you do have a uh, uh, unconditional love for your partner, you will continue to love the person regardless of what they do or how they react, because that will enable the person to express who they truly are in a relationship, because they're not uh, going to keep thinking in their mind, I must do this in order for this person to love me, because you give the person an opportunity to show their true self, and to express themselves, to show you who they truly are. So then the other person will not keep thinking in their mind that uh, I must do this, or this person is not going to love me. This is what most relationship is based on in society nowadays, and this is the reason why they all fail, because they start from a conditional type of relationship, which is why most of it failed to begin with. So you've already agreed to involve this person as as part of your life experience. So all these has to you've already made the agreement, not verbally but intentionally. You've made the agreement to include this person. So you have to show unconditional love to the person, because you've already made the decision prior to being in a relationship and to begin with, to love the person unconditionally by through your intentions. So when you love a person unconditionally, it's a beautiful experience. You know, the person is not scared to express themselves, and you must show kindness toward the other person. I mean, that goes toward all relationships, but it goes without saying. And the next part I'm going to speak to you guys about, most of it will probably go over your head because it's the mechanisms that work the relationship. Uh, it's the invisible forces that creates and holds a relationship together, which is called law of attraction. And this is how most of you can love someone without knowing why you love them. It's not you that's loving the person, because you yourself is just pure consciousness. Yourself is consciousness. Your subconscious is what controls 95% of your behaviors and any conditions of reality. Your subconscious creates 95% of your reality. You yourself is just observing your reality being created by your subconscious mind, either consciously or unconsciously. And you fall in a dangerous territories when you begin to allow your subconscious to create your reality unknowingly, which is subconsciously. And law of attraction is involves synchronicities. It involves vibrations. So, in order for one person to become attracted to another person, they have to be vibrating at the same frequency level in life, regards anything. They have to have the same set of qualities. They have to have uh, the same habits, pretty much. You will not have two person in a flourishing relationship that their habits and their patterns in life, their lifestyle, is does not correlate with each other. This is what law of attraction is. It's having two person of the same quality, of the same kind, of the same lifestyle, come together. When two of you guys are vibrating at the same frequency, you guys will attract each other because you will be like-minded. You guys will share the similar qualities. There will be commonalities among you. So this is what will attract you toward liking the other person. It's not your decision to like the other person, but it is your subconscious mind that is gravitating toward the person. Your subconscious mind is sending you signal, which is you yourself is conscious. Your subconscious mind is sending you signals regarding the other person. So that's why you get feelings, you get emotions toward the other person. That is all that is regulated by your subconscious mind. You have no voluntary control over anything that happens in life, unless you take control of your life by starting from here, which I've explained to you guys in an earlier video. About how to attract happiness. You can go and watch the video and it'll go more into detail. But once you take control of this, anything is possible. But if you have no control of this, then your life is being run by your subconscious mind. So everything that happens to you, most likely you will not understand why it's happening. And that this is the main reason why people keep asking themselves, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? Because they don't know the inner workings of the universe, of what's working in the background of their life. So they are running on autopilots in life. And this is why things are happening to them and not for them. And uh, so when two of you guys are vibrating at the same frequency, it's a beautiful feeling because anything you do will not have any discomfort on the other person. If this is, for example, let's say this is person A, person B. Person A, let's say, does a random act in public. Person B will also have the same type of intentions of doing it, but person A would already have done it first. So they will both be in alignment because they will pretty much be the exact person. So this is how you can actually attract any person in your life. This is the key factor right here. I'm going to tell you that you can attract any person in your life. So let's say, for example, you see someone you're attracted to. You should, in order for you to get them, let's say if your lifestyle is completely different from them, you have to change yourself, starting from here. uh, Look at their lifestyles, look how they approach life, look how they are living, and start to emulate the lifestyle and start to um, become like that person. Once you become like that person, then the universe start to engage the law of attraction, and you guys will naturally gravitate toward each other, and this is where the synchronicity will come into play, and you guys will randomly run into each other, and eventually you guys will end up being together because you guys will have the same emotions toward each other. You guys will feel attracted toward each other. So is to emulate the person's lifestyle and start to be like them, copy them, and this is uh, this is how eventually you guys will be. The person doesn't even have to know you because everything is connected in the world. Everything is connected in the universe. So as long as you begin to be like the person, um, the universe will attract you toward the other person. And this is why most of the time that the saying that fake it till you make it in life actually works, because the person is acting in a certain way. When they begin to act a certain way by law of attraction, then and by law of cause and effect, they become whatever they are trying to emulate, and then the universe uh, bring them what they are trying to be like. It's very interesting. uh, Prior to any relationship, the sex has to be postponed. uh, I know most of relationships starts with just having sex, and it can be a detrimental thing to the relationship, because when you start a relationship just strictly on sex, then there's no emotional connection, there's no soul connection there. It's just a physical connection, and that can destroy the relationship from the onset. So to begin to form a strong relationship, allow the relationship to grow by just having just emotional connection with the person first. Have a soul connection. Just having a pure true intentions toward the person, and having a intangible connection first prior to having sex, because once you start having sex in the beginning of the relationship, then that dulls the relationship out from the beginning, and then it becomes the one partner will become bored and of the relationship quickly, because it will the relationship will gravitate toward physical relationship only, and once the physical aspect of the relationship is gone, then there's nothing else there. Then that's when both partners feel like they need to find someone else to engage in other sexual activities, and there was never emotional connection to begin with. So this is why most people go out and cheat, because their relationship was based solely on sex alone, that there was no emotional connection to begin with. And once the person got bored of doing the same thing, which is having sex with the person, then the person became useless to them, and they began to not have any uh, other feelings toward the other person, so they have to go out somewhere to gratify their sexual urges. So this is why most people end up cheating. So if you start to prevent cheating aspect of relationship, you should start the relationship, just allow it time to flourish before any sexual activities, and form intangible connection first, which is having a soul connection first, and having emotional connection first. Once that is established, then you can merge the sex aspect of it in, and then that will formulate into a beautiful and beautiful relationship, and it will blossom, and it will last, because you have, not only do you have the emotional aspect of it and the soul connection, which is what actually makes a relationship truly last, which is having the soul connection. This is why many people end up in a relationship and they spend their entire lives together, because even after the age of 60, of old age, after the sex drive has gone, the the emotional connection and the soul connection is still there, which is all they really need to actually hold the relationship, and the bond together. But um, if you just have a physical relationship, which is strong, based on just sex alone, once the lust is gone, once the drive is gone, the sexual drive is gone, the desire for it is gone, the relationship has ended. So there is no point to try to continue to stay in a relationship, because you're just prolonging the inevitable, and you just wasting the other person's time. So if you don't feel any connection with the person after having sex with them, that means the relationship did not begin correctly on a spiritual level. So it's best to just end the relationship there and stop wasting the other person's time. And another key factor I like to speak to you guys about is, whenever you are in a relationship and one partner is throwing a fit, throwing a tantrum, do not engage. Just observe it. For instance, if right now I'm having a conversation um, uh, with a partner, and she began to throw fit, throw tantrums, and begin to get angry. I do not allow myself to get angry with them, because that will only make the situation worse. So what I do is, I observe what she's going through. I observe the pain she's going through, and emotions she's experiencing. And then after during the entire time, I don't engage. I don't say anything. I just observe. Then once she's finished, done throwing her tantrum, and then I can have a I can now engage and ask, what's wrong. Once you begin to, this is where, earlier I speak in the video, is when I've said, be aware of the problems in your relationship. Being aware is just observing what's going on in a relationship, and instead of reacting, just response. So whenever the person is having an argument with you, don't react, don't interact with them, don't engage in whatever turmoil they're experiencing. Just observe. Just stay quietly or stand quietly and observe what they are going through. And after they're done, you can have a sit with them and engage in a conversation. Ask them what's happening with you, what's wrong with you, and then once you guys begin to have a conversation about the problems, then you become aware of the problem, and that's when you kind of address the problem, and it can quickly resolve itself. This is what can actually make a relationship grow, by fixing the problem instead of um, making it worse, or just ignoring the problem, or just treating the symptoms, which is what most people do. They treat the symptoms, or they just engage in they just engage in the same turmoil, the same rage the other person is going to, and then the relationship turns into a fight, and then next thing you know, the relationship has ended. When at the onset, you had the opportunity to just observe, and then allow the person to express their emotions, whether negative or positive. And then once that's done, then you can engage in a mutual conversation and find out what's wrong in the relationship. And then most of the time, what's wrong can easily be repaired, can easily be amended, and then the relationship can blossom to a beautiful relationship. And another key factor is, in anything in life, especially relationship, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. In order for you to attract another person, you have to be like them. You have to, in order to attract anything in life, you have to become what it is in order for you to embody it. So a negative person will not be attracted to a positive person, because they are vibrating on different frequency. They're all on a different planes of existence. Even though, for instance, I'm right now, I would consider myself a positive person, but in my vicinity there can be a negative person, but based on my mindset, I am vibrating on a different frequency as the other person, and my response to whatever the person is going through will be different because I am not on the same frequency plane as the other person, because my thought is not the same as the person, and I can see things the other person cannot see. I can observe things outside of myself versus another person that's just reacting to whatever they're going through. So this is what can help when you become awakened, and you can actually look outside of yourself, be outside of yourself, observe yourself going through experiences in life, and then you can actually see yourself going through the experience, and you can actually see what needs to be done to fix anything you have in life, any problems or any obstacles you may have. And just observe yourself on the exterior, just transpose yourself on the outside of yourself to start to observe yourself, experience life, and then that's when you can begin to see patterns and habits that needs to be turned into you can actually turn bad habits into good habits, and then eventually change your life for the better. This is what I had to go through, which is extensive work. I have to done discipline and self-realization. But this is the end of this video today, guys. Like all the major keys I've stated before, which is open communication, you must have that, and you must have honesty, of course. And the other key factor is to listen more, be attentive to when the person is speaking to you, so that way you truly know what is bothering them, so you can address their problems accurately, so you're not making any assumptions. And to have unconditional love, regardless of how the person behaves, regardless of how the person act towards you. If you have any recommendation of what other videos I should make, please drop them down in the comment section. It's a beautiful day out there today. I'm pretty sure everybody's up north is in the freezing cold right now. It is December 4th. I am making this video. It's like in the high 60s here in South Florida, and you guys up north are battling freezing weather, 9 foot of snow, I've heard. But you guys stay warm, and I'm outside enjoying this beautiful weather, and your life is what you make it. So, go out there and create a beautiful life for yourself. Until the next video, guys.